If you were stuck on a desert island, and this time with your accountant, but you could only ask that accountant 10 questions, what would you ask? Hey everyone, my name is Eddie Hood. I am the CEO of Ignite Spot Outsourced Accounting, and today we're going to talk about the 10 questions you should be asking your accountant. Question number 1. How do you like to communicate with your clients? You see, some accountants are phone accountants, others are email accountants, and then you've got the text accountants out there. So if you're sending them texts, but your accountant is an email accountant, they're not going to get your communication, so they're not going to know your concerns, your questions, all of those things, and you're going to feel unloved. So make sure you know how they communicate so that you can get in on the action. Question number 2. Every accountant lives by deadlines. It is like the lifeblood of what we do. Every day is a deadline for whether it's taxes or financial statements or who knows what. So you want to ask this question. What is my deadline so that you can hit your deadline? Because accounting is a two-way street. As accountants, we can't do our job unless you provide us with information. And you've got to get us that information at a specific point in time so that we have enough time to do our work and get it submitted. Question number 3, what is my estimated tax liability? Now you can ask this question at any time throughout the year. You don't have to wait until March 30th to find out what you're going to be paying on April 15th or whenever your tax deadline is. You're allowed to ask this at any point in time, and your accountant can pull up your financial statements, look at how much money you've brought into the company up to that point in time, and make an estimate. Now you want to know that so that you can always plan worst case tax liability. Question number 4, where the heck is my cash going? Now there are 3 different ways that cash can come in and go out of your business, so your accountant is going to really understand this well. There are operating activities, financing activities, and investing activities. Most entrepreneurs just think of the operating activities. These are the things that bring cash in and out because of day-to-day business activities. So selling your product, buying materials for your product, whatever, right? Those are the things that bring money in and out. That's what you think of when you think of cash. But there are 2 other activities. The investing activities deal with buying equipment. So if you buy land or a truck or a microwave if you're a restaurant, those kinds of things don't deal with the actual immediate transactions of the business. You're buying equipment or you're selling equipment, and those things affect cash. The other area is investing. Now this is a little less common for businesses, but still affects cash. This has to do with when you are bringing loans into the business. So if you go out and get an SBA loan, for example, for $50,000, you just brought that money into the business. If you're paying loans off, all of those things affect it, as well as if you might be buying stock or selling stock. Those kinds of activities fall into this financing category. So understand there are 3 areas that affect your cash flow, and your accountant can give you a full 360-degree picture of where cash is going. Question number 5, how much cash do I really need to have? You know, a lot of businesses know they should stockpile cash for a rainy day, but at what point do you stop doing that and start using money to grow and invest in your business? Because it's not a good idea just to keep growing your savings account to an infinite number. At some point you need to stop and put money into building better processes, better systems, and all of those things. So work with your accountant to figure out the right amount of cash in your savings account. Question number 6, what actions can I take right now to make my business more profitable? There are a lot of things you can do, and your accountant will be able to walk you through these step by step, but a few examples are unit costs and labor costs. So you want to know, let's say you sell a product, a mug. You need to know exactly what it costs you to build this mug, to ship it, to package it, to get it in the hands of your customer. Your accountant can tell you that, and knowing that information will help you go from making this a $5 mug to produce down to a $4.50 mug to produce. Saving 50 cents per unit will make you a fortune down the road. Another example is controlling your labor costs. So a lot of people think, I just hired somebody and they cost me $45,000 a year, but that's not true. They actually cost you more than that because of rent space and employer taxes and health insurance and all of this stuff. So accountants have this really cool technique or term we call full burden cost. It is the full burden cost of that employee upon your organization. Once your accountant tells you that this person really costs you $55,000 a year, you can make better decisions in controlling that labor expense. Question number 7, what metrics are important for my industry, for the things that I do? Because if you're in a dog grooming business, The metrics there are very, very different from being in a restaurant business, for example. Now, a lot of business owners think I just gotta watch cash and I gotta get profitable. Yeah, but what about the industry-specific metrics? Again, for a restaurant, you might want to track how many tables or how often you're turning a table every hour. That's an important metric for a restaurant. But a dog grooming business doesn't care about that. Your accountant can help you track that information. It's a simple equation of taking cash in divided by number of tables, and you can come up with a formula that says we turn tables on average 6 times an hour. You're really moving people through the restaurant there. It wouldn't be that big, but you get the point. Question number 8. What the freak does this report even mean, right? So your accountant's gonna give you reports from balance sheets to income statements to statements of cash flow to owner equity statements to who knows what. And don't pretend like you know what they mean. If you didn't go to accounting school and if you don't have experience reading financial statements, don't get the report and go, oh yeah, this looks great. If you don't know what it means, ask. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, the accountant is excited to teach you about your business, to help you understand what's really happening and what this report means for you. Question number 9. Who is actually doing my accounting? You see, the industry of accounting is changing over time. We are becoming more outsourced, more globalized, more efficient at what we do. In the olden days, like 10 years ago, people used to just sit in your office and do your accounting, but it's not that way anymore. For example, at Ignite Spot Outsourced Accounting, we do all of your accounting work for you, but we are based in Utah. We service businesses all over the country. Now, if your accountant is well, anybody really, you want to ask them, I know that you're the face of my account, but who's really doing the accounting? Who's on the ground doing all of the footwork? Some firms will say, oh, hey, we're doing the work for you, but then they're turning around and sending your work to India or the Philippines or Hong Kong or wherever. Nothing wrong with that, but you should know that that's happening, and the firm should be upfront with you and tell you that. Now, we don't do that at Ignite Spot. We're very upfront. We say, your accountant is Bob. Bob is your accountant. You know who Bob is. But even if you have a local CPA firm, you might work with John, who's a partner, but then when you leave, he gives all of your work to Sally, who is a brand new intern, and then he just kind of checks her work. You want to meet Sally. You want to know who she is, what her credentials are. Make sure that she is qualified to serve in your business. Question number 10. Mr. or Mrs. Accountant, what is our catastrophe plan when the economy tanks? Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, you guys, but the economy is going to tank again. It always tanks, or at least self-corrects every few years, and it's never a good bit of news when you're an entrepreneur. Things are going great, you're selling well, you're feeling really good, and then all of a sudden the news comes on and things just go to crap, and you're left scrambling trying to figure out how to save your business. If you don't have a catastrophe plan in place, you are going to go under with all the rest of the people that didn't plan for this thing. So sit down with your accountant, figure out what to do if all heck breaks loose, and how are you going to stay afloat? All right, everybody, I hope this helped you figure out how to get the most out of your accounting relationship. It's really, really important that you ask the right questions to your finance professional. Otherwise, you're not gonna really be growing your business and getting the most out of it. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, click that you like the video, do whatever you can. We love it when you do that. And until next time, remember, stay profitable and have fun growing your business.